Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Illustrator. I am Tao, and we are the second arty video into 2019, and I'm finally addressing 2019 goals. I may have missed making a 2018 goals thing, and now looking back on 2018 like illustration goals, I'm really glad I didn't, because I failed pretty much a lot of things on there. The only things I've really succeeded in was doing the 3 marker challenge for an entire year and starting just a little creative thing where everyone can join in with, and yeah, yay. So 2 of them have been successful, and continuing in lots of shows have also been successful, but that creatively is the only things that I have really achieved. If I'm honest, I haven't done massive amount of character development with the characters that I have, and I haven't really done my website, rebrand, Etsy or Patreon, so yeah. Yeah, so if you think about that creatively, 2018 hasn't exactly been my year, so I've decided to make 2019 the better year. So 2019 is the year that I'm really going to be focusing on Tina and Tango. I'm going to be launching them on Patreon, which I'm very excited about, because I've made myself sit down, and you guys, if you are stuck with your 2019 goals, I would highly recommend getting a massive piece of paper, writing in the middle the year or time frame that you want to achieve something in. Put underneath in tiny writing what you do want to achieve. And for an example, underneath 2019 on mine, I've put spread your online eggs. For example, I'm pretty much a YouTube only chick at the moment, and to be honest, that's kind of shooting myself in the foot. There are other platforms that are really good for artists, like Instagram. That's so obvious, but because it's my own stuff, I don't really push it. I push it for other people, but my own is something I tend to accidentally ignore. So spread your online eggs into Instagram, more on YouTube, Etsy and Patreon. So there's some online platforms that I really want to move into, and also on there as my big juicy thing that I want to really get into is game development, like board game development and card game development, because that's stuff that I do privately that I want to actually make a thing, maybe even with Tina and Tango, because that would absolutely be amazing. That is so far up the street of where I want to be that I just, game development for board games or card games is so where I want to get to, or basically lots of excitement around that. So on this spider diagram, you ask yourself lots of different questions. Like if you're an artist, you would ask yourself what characters would you like to concentrate on, or if you want to do character development anyway, is there areas of your artwork that you want to work on? Is there any particular merch that you want to make? Do you want to self-publish? Do you want to outsource? And social media platforms and things like that. So for me, once I'd got all this spider diagram stuff down, I color coded it and matched them all up, because I've got different characters that relate to different things in different areas. So things that I make for Etsy, I probably won't be plastering all over YouTube, because I don't feel like they match up the same, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So once you've filled up your spider diagram with lots of lovely ideas from your brain, sometimes these can be very unsettling, because you've now taken your brain's thoughts and putting it all onto a piece of paper, and there's usually a lot of stuff there. So you then need to categorize into different areas that you're going to be working on. So for me, those categories have gone into things like branding, Patreon, Etsy, YouTube, Instagram, Tina and Tango and Showstock. Then each of those have subcategories. So for example, I will tell you what I'm doing for my Instagram. My Instagram, I am planning on doing weekly day illustrations focusing on Tina and Tango's antics. Saturdays are busy and Sunday Scruffy Sunday. So they should be heading out already. So if you haven't noticed, head over to my Instagram. That's where this action should be going forwards, hopefully, because we're dealing with it today and not tomorrow. Yes, today for the win. So I had researched lots of different ways of how to kick myself up the bum in getting this properly done. And if you're like me, you get lots of different ideas, you want to do it all, but you just don't get the time, or you can't motivate yourself enough to do it. It's good to have something that's very visual in your face to say, this is what you're doing, this is what you're planning to do, this is how much time you have to do it in, let's do this. So when I was at uni, I had forgotten about it, so when I Google searched good ways how to motivate an illustrator and it suggested Gantt charts, it kick-started that little bit at the back of my mind that was like, I've done this before, I've done Gantt charts at uni and it worked really well for me. So if you're not familiar with a Gantt chart, I would recommend to go and Google it, but roughly what it is your activities down one side with your subcategories. You can get software to do it. I like the more manual pencil on paper version, and then along the top is your period of time. Some people have it days, some people have it weeks, some people have it months, and some people have it years, depending on the size of your project. However, I'm focusing purely on 2019, so there's 52 weeks in a year, so there's 52 lines that represent the weeks. And then what I've done is I've color coded 4 different things that you can colour in the squares. So once you've gone across one way and the other, it's like a giant grid basically. Actually, I might take a photograph of this and lay it over the top so you can see what I'm talking about, because that will be very handy. So the 4 things that I've colour coded, and you can colour code it completely customized to what you need it for, is I have gone for estimated time, because what you estimate and what actually happens are 2 completely different things. Then you can guess the next one as actual time to complete. Overtime, because you know that that's going to happen at some point on some of these things. And then also you need to remember to have reflection and or time off, and that's so good for your mental state. You need to be able to completely step back and relax. It refreshes yourself. You can go and talk to other people, you can bounce ideas, fully step back, and when you come back to what you're working on, you can often see things of how to improve better than if you were like stuck in something for 6 weeks or something. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Hopefully when I've put the layover on this video for you of a photo of the Gantt chart, you will have a rough idea. After actually making this Gantt chart, I kind of realised it's like one of those habit trackers that you get in a bullet journal. They're so similar. So maybe if you're a bullet journaler, you could always keep an eye on what you're doing creatively, actually physically in your bullet journal, instead of doing like me and getting a massive A1 piece of paper, filling it with a giant Gantt chart. I'm basically gonna blue tack that to the wall. I'm not sure that Ian's gonna like that being stuck to the wall, but it's gonna be there. Oh dear, maybe I should have made it smaller. I don't know. So hopefully a Gantt chart or some kind of chart making for you guys within your diaries or for a piece of paper for the wall like what I've done, it will help you keep on task, keep on track, and always remember what you do today will lessen your work tomorrow. That doesn't mean you should work until like 2 a.m. to complete something. You obviously need to be like very mindful of how much time you're putting into these things, but if it's something you can do that, you know, you're sat on your bum watching a TV program, that actually you could be doing something else at the same time, or, you know, partnering things up with something else so that it makes your life easier in the long run, do it, because you've got one life. Live it to the full, live it as much as you can, and enjoy every single second. Thank you guys very much for coming out and watching my video. Please give it a nice big thumbs up. There will be lots more awesome videos heading your way. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay in the arty loop, and I will see you all next time. Love you all guys. Bye.